In our research, we wanted to see whether statistical machine learning techniques overperform the traditional classification method to find the level of obesity. Here is the background of our research. Body mass index is a calculation that takes a person's weight and height into account to measure body mass. In adults, obesity is defined as having BMI of 30 or more, according to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. Obesity is associated with a higher risk of serious diseases such as type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. And the CDC estimates that 42.4% of Americans 20 years old and older had obesity in 2017 to 2018. But BMI is not everything. This is not the only index to measure the obesity. There are some other index, but the BMI is the most important one. We collected data from University of California Urban Machine Learning Repository. According to our data set, we have 7 different levels of obesity, and the levels of obesity are insufficient weight, normal weight, overweight 1 or 2, and the obesity level 1, 2, or 3. And we have 6 predictors: genders, age, height, history, smoke, and calcium level. So here we try to see the data visualization using the age and height. We didn't use all the predictors. We just use age and height and the obesity level as an example. So we divided our research in 4 folds. The first one is exploratory data analysis, statistical machine learning methods, results, and conclusion. So data visualization has been done to explore and identify missing data and trends. So we use the heat map to show the correlation of the obesity and the other factors. So here you can see that family history with overheight is somewhat correlated with obesity, and the correlation is 0.5. And the other correlations is lower. And the height and gender is also highly correlated, and which is 0.6. And we also used variable importance ranking to see the significant variables for the classification. So we use 2 statistical machine learning methods such as artificial neural networks and random forest, and we compared the results with the traditional classification method, multinomial logistic classification. So we used multinomial logit, and here is the logit function we used, and this is the extension of the binary logistic models. So we use random forest, and we consider the class prediction of nth random forest tree, and to get the optimal tree, we used majority vote. And here is the artificial neural network we used. ANN works like neuron of human body, and it calculates the function. The output depends on the nonlinear function of inputs, and our inputs uh, includes the bias and the weight and predictors. So here W naught is the bias, and blue line represents the bias, and red circle represents the nodes of the hidden layer, and we used 8 nodes. So here is the results comparison. So this is the results from 3 models. The first one is MLR. The accuracy is 51.03%, and the accuracy for RF is 64.22%, which is way more than the accuracy of MLR. And the accuracy of ANN is 63.9%, which is close to the accuracy of RF. And we can see that for obesity 3, all the models perform very good, and the accuracy is close. Accuracy is 100%. And for the other classes, other levels, there are some misclassification, and we can reduce the misclassification by using stratified sampling. But in our research, we used simple random sampling. So here is the ROC curve, and ROC curve, we can see that the AOC ROC curve, the accuracy is higher than 80%, and the area under the ROC curve is more than 80%. So now we can conclude our research in such a way: 51.08% accuracy had been found in MLR, which is relatively less than random forest accuracy, 64.93%. On the other hand, deep learning technique ANN shows less performance than RF, but more than MLR. According to confusion metrics, some misclassification of obesity levels had been found. Our proposed SML tools can replace the traditional statistical model to classify level of obesity more accurately. Random forest led the results compared to ANN and MLR. So health professionals can diagnose medical conditions and predict disease such as obesity by using statistical machine learning technique. So in future, we can use tenfold cross-validation technique to verify our found results. So here are some selected references we used in our research. Thank you all for hearing.